Hello guys, this is Deepika from mytutorialrack.com. In this tutorial, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our whole project to this centralized repository. So first thing is, if you look at the centralized repository right now, it does not have any files like index files and all the files that we have created under mygit repo. So now what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and push our changes or whatever the latest code we have, we're going to push into this centralized repository. So to do that, we're going to say git push origin master. So who is the origin for mygit repo? The origin is nothing but the centralized repo. So we're saying push the changes to the centralized repository, which changes everything which is in the master. So right now, if you can see, I haven't hit the command yet. You see nothing is present under this centralized repo right now. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and hit this command, and now the changes are going to go ahead and push to this centralized repository. And now if you come back here and if you go ahead and refresh it, you're going to go ahead and see the changes got added. And if you see here, the timestamp has been increased. 7:06 is the new time. And then if you see here, they have a different style of putting the changes because it's a bare repository, but the changes got added into the centralized repository. Now the next step we are going to go ahead and do is, now let's say we have some new updates that we wanted to go ahead and make. So first thing is, let's say we have to add a new news item. So I'm right now in the mygit repository. So I'm going to go ahead. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new branch here and check out as new branch, and the name of the branch will be news-item. So this is the new branch that I'm going to go ahead and create. So this is the branch I have created, news-item, and it is created off of the master. So it has everything what the master has. Now the next thing is I'm going to go ahead and add this new file called news-3.html under this branch. So I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new file, and I'm going to go ahead and save it as under the, so if I go back here one step, currently I'm checked out as the branch, the news item branch that I've just created. So I'm going to go into mygit repo, and here I'm going to go ahead and create news-3.html. This is the new file that I'm going to create. So these are the changes that I've made to the news-3.html. It's a simple page. If you want to look it up in the browser, what you can do is you can just go ahead and go to your centralized repo and open the page in the browser. So if you go up here, this is the page I just created. Open with the Chrome. And this is what the page says. And if you wanted to go ahead and click on this link, it will take you to the main index page that we have created earlier. So now what we're going to do is, in this particular page, index page does not have the link to go to the news-3.html page. So now we're going to go ahead and add that link inside of this index.html page. So first thing we're going to do is, so right now we have just made one single change. We have added this news-3 file here. So if you go ahead and look at the status, it will tell you a new file has been added. Okay, again, news-3.html. Now we're going to go ahead and add the link for the news-3.html in the index.html page. So we're going to go ahead and open this index.html page in the notepad, and then I'm going to go scroll down, and I'm going to go ahead and add the link for this new page under this, probably under the news section. So come down here, we're going to go ahead and add this particular page here, and then we're going to go ahead and call it as news-3.html, and then we're going to say Middle East is a silent beast. Okay, so now this is what we have added, the link for the news-3.html. And now if you go back here and if you refresh the page, you will see that the Middle East silent beast has been added, and if you click on that, it'll take you to the news-3.html, and if you go ahead and return back, it takes you to this particular page. Now we're going to go ahead and add the changes. So let's look at the status of the repository. It tells you there is a file that has been modified, and it tells you that there is a file that has been added new. So now we're going to go ahead and add these changes we're going to go ahead and stage and commit the snapshot. So first thing is we're going to go ahead and add the news-3.html, and then the next file we're going to do is index.html. We're going to go ahead and add it. So now we have added it to the staging. Now if you look at the status, these are the tracked files now. Now we need to commit the changes. We're going to go ahead and say git commit -m, add the third news item. So these are the changes that we have made. Now if you look at the log history, you will find that okay, we have made the change here and it tells you that the third news item has been added. But right now we are under the news item branch. We are not under the master branch. Okay, so we have added a new development feature inside of the news item branch. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is, now if the changes look good, we are going to push these changes to the centralized repository. So previously, publishing means was to merge with the local master, but since we are only interacting with the central repository and the master branch is also private, means that the Mary cannot pull the changes from our repository. So if let's say now there is no connection between my Git repo and Mary's repo. So right now if Mary want to go ahead and get the changes that I made, she cannot do, there is no way she can do it right now because she cannot directly talk to my repository. But I can only talk to one repository, which is the centralized repository, and Mary can also talk to the same repository, which is the centralized repository. So I'm going to go ahead and push my changes to Mary's repository, and then she's going to go ahead and get the changes from the centralized repository. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we will merge our changes to the master, and then we're going to push those changes to the central repository. So first we're going to go ahead and merge this news item branch into our master. So first thing we're going to go ahead and we're going to check out as master. Okay, now if you go and look at your repository, you will see that there is a no news-3 item present because we just switched to the master branch, and master is not aware of the changes made under this branch. So we're going to go ahead and merge the changes from the news-item branch. Okay, and we are checked out as master. So now if you go ahead, we did a fast forward merge, and now if you go ahead and look at your current checked out branch, you see there is a news-3 thing has been added because from this particular branch. Now we do not need this branch, so you can go ahead and delete this branch -d. So first let's see how many branches you have. These are the number of branches. If you want to go ahead and delete the news item branch, you can go ahead and say news item. So now it has deleted the news item branch here. So now we have merged the changes from the news item branch into the master. Now we will push these changes back to the central repository. So we're going to go ahead and say git push origin master. So if you go ahead and look at the timestamp, I have not run the command yet. So if I go back and I go to the central repository, you'll see this object has a timestamp of 7:06 p.m. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit this command, and then you're going to see that okay, something has changed. Now the timestamp has increased and it became 7:17, means the merge and the pushing of the files have been done, and now the central repository is up to date. Now how the Mary is going to interact, we will see in the next tutorial how Mary going to go and get the changes, and we'll talk more about centralized repo in the next tutorial. Thank you so much.